Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today is Friday, which means it's time for another Dungeons & Dragons video. And that means I am going to be talking about, actually right now what I'm going to talk about is a video that I was actually requested in the comments a while back. And that was more about Bards. And apparently you guys liked my video on the Bards, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about these guys. Now, the Bard is the support class. Alone, these guys suck. Like, just a bard hanging out by itself, like no group. Absolutely horrible, gonna get slaughtered. These guys are terrible. Now, give him some friends, which he's likely to have because he's incredibly charismatic and can easily attract followers and friends and all that good stuff. That's when the bard gets strong. Well, not so much the bard gets strong, more so he makes his friends a lot stronger. So yeah, the bard doesn't actually get the credit. Did the bard bring down the dragon? Not technically. Technically it was his buddies, but they probably wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for all the buffs that he gave them. So the bard definitely has that. He's also the jack of all trades. The bard's really unique in that regard. He's a decent combatant. He has arcane spells, which are actually, they're decent. They're not great. They're not as good as a wizard or a sorcerers or any of those guys. But he also has healing spells. Like some of his arcane are healing, which is unique. I've never seen another class other than the bard that can actually cast healing spells arcanely. It's kind of weird, but pretty cool. But again, his healing spells aren't that great. They're okay. So the bard can kind of do everything. He can fill any role. He's definitely an expert. He's definitely got some roguish and monk traits. He's actually classified with them as an expert class. So he really can do anything, which is kind of cool. But he's not good at anything either, other than his perform and all his bardic music. He's great at that. But other than that, he's okay at everything, but not great at anything. Unlike the wizard, who's terrible in combat, or the barbarian who can't do magic and has no defense. He doesn't really have a weakness so much. Like, there's not anything he can't do. Like, the barbarian can't use magic, though. The wizard can't really fight in combat. I mean, he can, but he sucks at it. The bard is okay at both. Now, the bard, he can get up to 6 level spells of his own type. Let's see. He can use weapons and armor. He can wear armor, which the bard actually gets a cool thing where light armor actually won't impede his spell casting. So he can wear light armor without arcane spell failure. Really awesome. Definitely a huge buff. Plus, there's ways to get around to buff that up even higher. There's a feat where you can basically, if you have that ability, you can then go into medium armor. And of course, if you make heavy armor or any armor out of mithril, it goes down a class lower. So technically, if you were a bard with that particular feat, I forget the name of it or where it's at, but I know it's in there somewhere. But a bard, if you guys know, leave it in the comments. But a bard with that feat, wearing a mithril full plate, wouldn't have arcane spell failure. So that's pretty cool. There's ways to do that. That's hard to do. It takes a lot. Mithril's full plate's super expensive, and that feat, I mean, it's a feat. I think it's got prereqs too. Well, actually, feat's not too bad, but still. Their spells are decent. They got a lot of sabotage spells, actually. They get, like I say, they get healing spells. The bards, and the big thing with the bard, though, is their perform. That is, I mean, absolutely huge about the bard. They get all these different bardic musics, which do so many different things. Let's see what they get. They get counter song, which, let's see, a bard with 3 or more to effect depends on the sound. Each round of the counter song, he makes a perform check. So they get counter song. Not entirely sure what that does often. I don't play bards a whole lot. I haven't seen a whole lot of use of them. They also get fascinate. So basically, you definitely need to have at least 3 ranks of perform skill. You want to max out that perform skill because that's going to affect so many different things. Inspire Courage is one I've seen a lot. That gives like +1 morale bonus on saving throws. Plus it helps with your base attack bonus and weapon damage rolls. So that'll, and not just you, like the whole group. So that's huge. We get Inspire Competence. Succeeded a task. Suggestion. Inspire Greatness is one of their huge. It's a big one for them. Granted her extra fighting capability every 3 levels. A bard. Attains the 9th. He gets. Oh yeah. So basically, he can basically make them a lot stronger. Inspire Heroics is insane. Basically, these guys can really, they can take a group that just isn't that great, like just this kind of crappy mob. Especially if you give a bard the leadership feat. Oh my god. If you make a bard, give him the leadership feat. Bards would be amazing with leadership. Just because, holy crap. One, their charisma is going to be through the roof. Make your charisma your best stat if you're a bard. That's just stupid not to. Max out one perform skill. Pick a perform skill and just max the crap out of it. Also, you definitely... Oh, you can't be lawful. But definitely... sorry, I just noticed that you can't be lawful. But definitely give him leadership, because with leadership, that performs heavy on the... but that's based heavily off of charisma, which they should have a high charisma score. Plus, with eventually with leadership, you start getting a lot of followers, which for most classes that's not a big deal. These guys are just like most of them are level 1s, and I'm not talking about level 1 character class. This is just like level 1 commoner. You get a lot of guys like that, which a level 1 commoner kind of sucks, but a bard can actually make a level 1 commoner a very, not a very useful, but make him quite strong, like actually a decent fighter with the right songs. So you get a bunch of those, and he can do it to a bunch of them all at once. So you can actually make a pretty powerful army of freaking commoners with the bard to help you out once you hit high levels. These guys are actually really ridiculously OP if you do it that way. So... And this is just Player's Handbook stuff. I'm not even including any of the supplement stuff I got back there. This is pure PHB right here. So yeah, definitely a strong class. They get laughed at a lot just because of the fact that they're not the ones actually doing anything. I mean, like I said earlier, the bard's not the one actually bringing down the enemy. They're just buffing everyone else up. Even with the whole leadership thing, it's their followers that bring him down, not the bard. But those followers would be crap if it wasn't for the bard. Plus, they're his followers. They follow him, so, or her, if you're a girl, or your character's a girl. Yeah. They also get bardic knowledge, which is pretty cool. It's not as good as the actual knowledge skill because it doesn't give you specific information. It only gives you like kind of general stuff, but it's easier to do. Like, you don't need to use a skill for it. It's something that you just get as part of being a bard. So yeah, that's pretty cool. The bards are also the only class in the entire Player's Handbook. There's a few others in some of the supplementals, but this is the only class that's actually in the core rule books that gets this particular skill as a class skill, and that is speak language. Bards can learn languages twice as easy as other classes. Generally, for most classes, the general rule for learning a new language beyond what you start with, like, when you start, you get so many languages based on your intelligence, blah blah blah. You get, your languages plus a bonus language for every point of intelligence you have, which you still get with a bard. But to add more to that, you can use 2 skill points to learn a new language. Bards can do it with 1. They can learn a language which is 1 skill point because it's their class skill. not many classes can do that, so that's pretty cool. If you ever wanted to be a linguist, um, although let's see, I mean, there's spells that there's things you can do to actually get tongues. I mean, like some other classes get tongues, which actually kind of is better. I think the monk gets tongues as a class feature, but this is still pretty cool. I do rather like the Bard. It's a very nice class, but yeah, definitely, definitely a fun class to play as. They don't get near the respect that they deserve, to be honest. They do get laughed at a lot. I haven't played one yet. I haven't seen them in action a whole lot, personally, but still a great class. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about Bards. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below. I always enjoy reading those comments. Plus, if you leave a comment, I might just make a video about it if you leave a suggestion for one. Also, if you enjoy this video, consider sharing it with your friends because, well, they might like to see it too. Also, we have one of these videos every Friday, plus another video on Dungeons & Dragons every Friday where I review, I go into detail about either a class, race, or prestige class. Generally it's the prestige class, but it could be any of the three. So, yeah, I go into detail kind of like I'm doing in this video. Then also on top of that, we also have a Dungeons & Dragons story video on Thursday where I take you on a journey with one of my characters from Dungeons & Dragons game I ran a few years back. You can check that out every Thursday. In addition, we also have videos about me every Wednesday. Every Saturday we have videos about Naruto character reviews. We also have videos every Sunday as well. So definitely hit subscribe to check out all that if you haven't already done so. But anyways, as always, I'm Mitch, and I'll be seeing you.